Every time you type a message into ChatGPT, something happens that you never see. Somewhere, in a building the size of a football field, hundreds of thousands of chips wake up, draw electricity, generate heat, and get cooled down with water. And that process is now happening billions of times a day all over the world. Here's what AI is actually doing to the planet. Let's start with the electricity. Global data centers consumed over 460 terawatt-hours of electricity in a single year. That puts them between the entire nations of Saudi Arabia and France on the global energy consumption chart. And that number is growing at 30% per year, nearly 4 times faster than conventional servers. AI specifically is expected to consume nearly half of all global data center electricity by the end of this year. Half. To put that in perspective, AI's energy demand already surpasses Bitcoin mining, the thing everyone was angry about for wasting electricity. Now here's a fact that will make you think about when you open ChatGPT. A single session run at 3 a.m. can be up to 67% more carbon intensive than the same session at noon. That's because at night, the electricity grid relies more on fossil fuel backup power. The AI's emissions change depending on what's happening at the power plant miles away from your phone. Now let's talk about water. Data centers don't just use electricity, they generate enormous amounts of heat. And the primary way to cool them is water. Not a little water. Global data centers consumed 560 billion liters of water in a single year. That's 17 billion gallons. In regions already experiencing drought, like the American Southwest and parts of Europe, new data center construction is directly competing with local communities for water supply. In Arizona, residents near data centers have complained that water tables are dropping. In Ireland, where nearly a quarter of the country's electricity goes to data centers, the government had to pause new construction approvals because the grid couldn't handle the load. Northern Virginia, the single largest concentration of data centers on Earth, has about 300 facilities already operating in just a handful of counties. Dozens more are under construction right now. The farmland is being replaced. The power lines are multiplying. And the carbon. In 2024 alone, global data centers produced an estimated 182 million tons of CO2. For context, that's roughly equivalent to the annual emissions of the entire country of Poland. Now, is AI inherently bad for the environment? That's the wrong question. The question is whether the benefits justify the cost and whether we're building this infrastructure responsibly. Some AI applications genuinely reduce emissions, optimizing power grids, improving weather models, accelerating materials science for better batteries. There are real cases where AI is a net positive for the climate. But most AI energy right now is going toward chatbots, image generators, and search. The world is spending the equivalent of a mid-sized country's electricity budget so that people can generate pictures of cats and ask an AI to write their emails. The honest reality is that we are building the fastest-growing energy infrastructure in human history with almost no public conversation about what it costs. No regulation, no requirement to use renewable energy, no limit on water usage. Just an assumption that technology is automatically progress. The data centers are going up, the electricity consumption is doubling, the water is being used, and most people have no idea this is happening every time they hit send. Now you do.